I've been following you on 2 decades now, and I've never seen a year where you have not played 150, 200 shows at least, and that's grueling. You're getting older. You're not 25. You're not 32
I'm not.
anymore.
Yeah, I'm 21 in here, and
Yes.
that's the problem. And when I broke my ribs in Toronto 3 weeks ago, uh, it shocked me that the doctor that tended me at the hospital said, you got to do these breathing exercises, and he gave me this thing here to suck air in and all that sort of stuff to exercise my lungs. He said, because you're in the danger zone. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, people your age, there are people who break their ribs and they die because they don't take enough air in, and they get pneumonia in the bottom of their lung, and they die. And he said a lot of people your age have died from that. So you make sure you do, and I just I didn't think of that. I didn't think, well, I'm older and all that, but next year I'll be 70, but I still feel 21. I don't feel any different. I feel a bit smarter than what I was when I was 21. I know a little more about life through the mistakes that I've made, but I still feel like the same kid, and I'm still so fascinated with this damn instrument.
Well, my question is more along the lines of how are you taking care of yourself to play that many shows? Because it's brutal. Touring is one of the most brutal ways of life.
Okay, so it's very easy. First of all, I don't eat any crap. You don't eat bad foods. No donuts and shit like that. None of that stuff. Eat real food. Give your body real nourishment. Drink lots of water. Drink lots of coffee. And get as much rest as you possibly can. The rule on the road, when you're touring and you're doing night after night and traveling and all that, the rule is if you can get a nap, take it. Doesn't matter when it is. And I'm an expert at sleeping on planes, on buses, on trains, and all that. I sit down for 1 minute and I'm gone. And so it's about looking after your body, and getting enough rest. And the other thing that I love touring is I get to meet people every night. I do a VIP meet and greet every night, and people pay extra and they get a good seat right up the front. They get a laminate, they get a photo, and all that sort of stuff. And then we get a photo together, and maybe I sign their guitar or whatever, and we get to talk. And there's a level of enthusiasm when I walk into the room and there are 35 people who've paid extra to meet me. There's a level of enthusiasm that is so beautiful. And I always tell them, well, I've taken your enthusiasm on board, and I'm going to give it back to you when I go on stage. Some people will say, "How the hell do you do it?" And all this. I've always been like this. I've always had lots of energy, and I always throw myself absolutely 100% into whatever I'm doing, and sometimes I can overdo it. I can fall over and break a rib. I was skipping sideways on stage and I fell over. Who'd have thunk it? So, actually, the funny thing is, Banner, I cracked 2 ribs, and 5 shows later, I sneezed after the show and broke those 2 ribs from a sneeze.
Life's funny like that. Never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah.
But I think too, how, okay, so I think, let me ask you this. Are you an extroverted person when you're on tour? Are you excited to be around people? Do people give you life and energy?
people give me lots of energy. But no, I'm a very quiet person on the road, and I my normal routine is we use the Google Calendar. So the Google Calendar has every day on the it has a breakdown. Crew load in at 3 p.m. or 2:30 or whatever. And if there's an opening act, if someone's playing on the show with me, like Mike Dawes or Andy McKee or somebody like that, I sound check first, usually around 4:30, and then whoever's playing first then sets their stuff up, and then they do their sound check, and they're all set to open. So I get to the hall usually around 3 o'clock, and if my guitars need stringing, I will restring my guitars in that period and stretch them in and tune and play, and then I'll do my sound check. But normally I play. If I don't need to do string changes, then I'm playing tunes. I'm in my dressing room and I'm playing like it's the show. I'm already. I've turned my engine on and I'm going. And it's also exciting when you get in the hall and there you are. You're in the hall where you're playing, and I get a chance to walk around and say hello to people who work there, the crew and all that, and go out and visit my merchandise people and say hi and sign a few things for them, and kind of hang out with the guys and all that, and watch Zach doing his lights, programming his lights and all that sometimes. And on my rider is fruit and coffee, water, chocolate. So that's the kind of stuff that I have backstage.
Now, what about after the gig? Because I what I've noticed in my experience playing shows, now I've nowhere near the amount of shows you've played, but a lot of times it's hard to come down after a show, especially a good show, even a bad show. It's you're the nerves are so high, the energy's there, the adrenaline's there. How are you able to come back down and like find yourself again? Because that's one thing I noticed with a lot of musicians is after a show, the energy is so hyped up.
No, it takes all your brain power to play like my stuff, right? To play the way I play takes all my brain power. Half an hour after the show, I'm dead beat. I'm ready for bed.
Has it always been that way?
No, it's only been that way probably the last 10 years. Prior to that, we would go out, or we would sit in the hotel and drink wine and eat cheese and crackers and stuff like that and talk and have fun and that kind of thing. But nowadays, I finish the show and I just want to get back to my room and chill out and have some peace and quiet, because I got to do it again tomorrow. So, I ask a lot of myself when I'm on the road. I really hold nothing back when I get out there, and I want to be in good shape. And that's the reason why I'm not out there playing right now, is because I've got ribs that need to be healed, and I want to be in good shape, because all the dates that I moved from November are now in February. So February is like full like an egg. So I've got to be in good shape, I've got to take care of my hands as well. I've got to keep my hands in. Sometimes if I have a little break and I go somewhere where there's a beach, whatever, and I swim and do all that, and then I come back on the road, calluses get a little soft. And, the first 3 shows, it's like, it's a nightmare. And I don't use nails. You can see my nails are pretty short, right? I have calluses right here. There's my callus. And my callus there's the sound of my callus. Here's the sound of a pig. It's almost exactly the same, right?
That's
That's
amazing. That's so cool.
yeah. So I'm home and I'm playing and I'm writing and doing podcasts.
That's right. And then so the food thing, that's interesting too. So it's just fruit. You said fruit, chocolate.
Fruit, chocolate, yeah, and uh, dinner is brought in every day, and we all eat together. We're a family on the road. We all eat together, and
How
and
how
then
how much time before the show are you eating?
we usually eat at 5:30 because quarter to seven. It depends if it's a 7:30 or an 8 o'clock show. If it's an 8 o'clock show, then I'm doing the meet and greet at quarter to seven till like 7:30, depending on how many people there are. Um, and then I've got a little break, and I practice, I play, I get dressed, and all that, and then it's showtime, and away we go. So yeah, and the days off, we're usually traveling, and we get to where we're going, and during the driving or the traveling, Zach has got on his computer and found a restaurant for us to go to and has booked it. And so we all go out to dinner on our night off and have a big feast and have a good time, you know.
You make touring sound so much fun, Tommy. I want to go tour with you.
Oh, it's great. I love it. It's my life, you know.
how how have you kept it enjoyable for you? Because I mean, like, thousands upon thousands of shows at this point. It seems like it would get very monotonous. How do you keep it fresh?
I'm always looking for to write new songs, and I'm always looking for new ways of playing things, and you know, every audience is different, every hall is different, every stage is different, and I think the only thing I get tired of is myself. Sometimes I I get to thinking, boy, people must be tired of me doing this. I should give it a break, and then I have a good show, and people are like, they write to me and say, "Oh my God, you changed my life," and you blah blah blah, and it's like, oh, there you go. I better get back out there, you know. See, I never know the effect that what I do has on people unless they tell me. But I can also see it in their face and in their eyes if I can see their eyes. But the thing about music, it's so magical, and you just never know how it's going to affect people. And I believe it's a spiritual event. When I play, something good happens to you, Banner. I don't know what it is. It's not me, but it's something that happens when I play. And so that's why I'm here. I believe that's why I'm here on Earth. You know.
I couldn't agree more. Um, yeah, it's just, again, like I was telling you, it's your concert you played in Atlanta, at the Variety Playhouse in Little Five Point in Atlanta. I'll never forget it. It had that. It's one of the most amazing memories I have with my grandfather. It was one of those things, and it's like, every time I hear you play, I always kind of go back to that, and it's deeper than just you playing fingerstyle guitar. It's deeper than you playing, Day Tripper or classical gas. It's just, I have mental snapshots from that time, and it means so
Mm,
much.
yeah. Well, it's hard. You something good happens, and I'm always expecting there to be magic. And if there isn't, then I better have some good songs to stand on, to play and still give the audience a good time. But when the magic's there, holy smoke, there's nothing like it. It's unbelievable.